computer. Okay, so yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on. Grab your snacks, have a seat. We're gonna get started. And like now, we're gonna get started. So for those of you who are new, my name is Darrell. I am your community network facilitator. And I want to welcome you to our Best Start Regional meeting. If you would please, I know the tablets are going around. Could you please make sure that you sign in? If you are in need of translation, go ahead and, talk to Carmen in the back. Wave your hand, Carmen. Yes, 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 Sergio. They will give you headpieces. Okay. We're going to go ahead. Next screen. Next screen. This is our agenda for today. So we have a very vigorous agenda, as you can see. So we're going to go through this, but we have some guests with us today that's going to do a special presentation. And also we're going to share out some opportunities that some of our partners are doing, our Best Start partners are doing here in the Antelope Valley. So we're going to do our desired results, our Best Start check-in, our February review, care coordination and presentation, our CCA Goal Priorities. Then we have a special presentation for our survey and updates from our Best Start community meetings, our community committee. That's what I meant to say. Community committee. And some building opportunities, some capacity building opportunities and reflections. So as we move on, next week, our meeting agreements, and I'm going to ask Tess to come up and she's going to take us through our meeting agreement.
Good morning, everybody. Our agreements, meeting agreements, be punctual, stay present and engaged and on topic. Put the focus on the future, be authentic, yourself. One person speaks at a time. Agree to disagree respectfully. Finish your sentence, not your paragraph. Step up, step back. Exercise confidentiality when necessary. Be patient and open to the technology. Keep your video on if possible. Assume positive intentions. A rainy day will make flowers. Separate person from the role. Be creative and have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy, everyone.
Thank you, Tess. Thank you. So next screen, please. Now we're going to go through our Best Start check-in. On the tables that you're sitting at, you will see the emotional or the pinwheel, the color pinwheel. Yes. If you don't have one, raise your hand. We'll make sure you have one at your table. Okay, for those who are sharing at the table, we want you to go through this. And this is our check-in. Yilda, where's she at? Come on, Yilda.
Woo, Yilda.
Come on, Yilda. Yilda is our ABPH representative who just recently completed our trauma-informed AB. So we want to give a shout out to our girl. She is ready for this. So I'm going to turn it over to Yilda.
Good morning. So I will be doing the Best Start check-in with you this morning. So the purpose of this activity, you guys will be going around in your group of tables, asking each other the following question. How are you feeling today? What is your goal for our time together? And who can you ask to support at your team? So I'm gonna give you guys about 5 minutes and then we're gonna record out. Yeah, you can use the, chart on your tables. There's like examples of feelings on there, so you can go ahead and use
Good morning, everyone.
Are you guys timing this?
So we're. Elena.
So you can probably go over. You're gonna deal with the animal to come in and have everybody in the scout. If we got a run back here. I think it's something that took us whole. We won't be scared. That's fine. We stole her.
You trying to do like 2
So we have about 2 minutes left for the activity.
I'm sure they don't have no heart. You're gonna be doing this one day soon. I'm baby one. Leave that alone. Get over it.
Okay, so we're gonna report out, if you guys wanna share out what you answered, I can walk around with the microphone. So how are you feeling today? What is your goal for our time together? And who can you ask for support at the table? Anyone like to go first, or? Wanna report out? Sure, I'll go.
So I said that I was feeling curious. And I moved into the second one because I'm just curious to gather as much information as I can from today. And then for support, I feel like I can ask anybody at the table for support. I just, met this one here. So I think that everybody will get valuable and I can get asking support.
Thank you. Anyone would like to share?
Yeah. I'm just grateful, and one of the goals that we talked about is, acknowledging,
Finding out what direction we need to go to start making some change in the areas that we chose. And to maybe talk to our local politicians.
Thank you. Anyone else? Would like to share? No one? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm feeling like my regular super self today. And my goal for our time together is just to galvanize information, to network, and to see, community leaders, partner with you, get to know who you are. And I can ask support for everybody here, even the kids, because they can teach you something, right? Okay.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else?
Hola, buenos días a todos. Lo bueno que estamos aquí todos reunidos y ver diferentes caras. Y estoy aquí para saber algo más. Cada día es algo nuevo para mí, aprender cosas nuevas.
Good morning to everyone. The reason why I'm here, it's because, I'm here to learn, because I believe that every single one of us, we're learning on a daily basis. So that's the reason why I'm here, and I feel fine.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Big round of applause for Gilda. Thank you.
Awesome. So just as a brief recap, and by the way, it's good to see all of you here today. I see new faces, I see returning faces, and it's just good to see everybody. Last month's meeting, we are talking about what the partners need. Who do we need to have at the table? Yeah, it helps us out.
Do you want me to take this one?
Oh, you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, do it.
Sorry, I practiced my meeting review.
She practiced.
So, last month in February, we looked at our 3 goals and we looked at the objectives that, like, what it would take to reach those goals. And we will be reviewing the goals in just a minute, but we also talked about, like, realistically, if we say we want to achieve this change in the Antelope Valley, what is it going to take? Who do we need to bring to the table? What partners in the community do we need to make sure we're reaching out to and connecting with to make sure that this change isn't just a change brought about by us here in this room, right? We really need the community behind this movement. And so it's really about understanding like who we have in the community. So again, we talked about who were some of those partners in terms of if we're looking to open more childcare programs, if we're looking to connect more families to resources. And so we'll get it for the expansion of the early education workforce, right? What does that look like? There's a lot that goes into the childcare and education system. And we've only sort of like seen the tip of the iceberg. And so as we dive deep into, this system, we want to make sure that we are getting the perspective from everyone in the community. We talked about maybe what other information do we need? Is there any, skills or training, any capacity building that could really support the partnership? And so one of the things that we talked about was some of the programs, some of the organizations here in the community that might already have a program that supports one of our goals. And so that's why we brought today CCRC, and it sounds like, originally we said a care coordination program, but they're so amazing, they brought in, even more, representatives from different programs in their organization. So we'll go ahead and transition into their presentation. That was just kind of like the what we did last month, right? And then we will see a little bit more of what we have done, throughout the last month as well, throughout the last 3 months, because we're already in March, right? Throughout the last 3 months, what Best Start has achieved. And when I say Best Start, remember, Best Start is a partnership, right? It's those who are here. Big ups to our welcome committee who was so amazing this morning. Thank you for being out there and just getting everyone signed in and supporting, because at some point, we really want this to be the community leading these meetings. So you'll see a little bit of like introduction, of some of our partners and community members really coming up here and taking that lead, and we really appreciate that. So if we have the presentation.
Yep.
And then if we can have an applause to the CCRC, representatives and get to type on stuff. And if it's gonna be with that.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having us here. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I'm gonna apologize in advance. My allergies took over me today, so if I sound congested or sneeze attacks, I apologize. My name is Anna Sepian. I am a representative from Child Care Resource Center. I work with one of the many divisions we have within our Child Care Resource Center, in short, CCRC. My area is specifically early care and learning. As we go through the information, I'll talk a little bit more about the programs, but I'm gonna just pass it along so all my colleagues can introduce themselves as well.
Hi, I'm Bianca. I'm a care coordinator with CCRC.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Bauer, and I'm a clinical supervisor for a couple of our programs that I'll be talking about shortly.
Hi, I am Stacy Redondo, and I am the developmental care coordination supervisor with one of the programs that we have as well.
Good morning. My name is Brandy Hill. I am also a home visiting supervisor oversee in the condo office, which I will also go over.
Thank you. Thank you. So before, I get started, I did want to share with you that we did also bring some flyers and brochures, that we have set up over there. So please, help yourselves if you want to take. It has information about, the programs we're going to talk about today, where it's available, and a lot of good information, and as well as contact information, should you be interested in any of those programs. Okay, so our vision, as an agency is, for healthy, strong children and families living in our thriving communities. Our mission is we want to cultivate child, family, and community well-being. And our values is we're working towards excellence, innovation, collaboration, respect, dedication, and integrity. Okay, so a little bit about numbers, for us. So we were incorporated back in 1976. We serve 50,000 plus children, families, and providers. If you're not familiar with our locations, we have 6 admin locations. We're in San Bernardino Valley, Antelope Valley, San Fernando Valley, and then within those valleys, we have multiple offices, which is our 6 administrative locations. We, at this point, have about 1,000 staff and counting. I think that number has gone quite a bit higher than 1,000 at this point. Right now, we're at 19 Head Start birth to 5 centers. These are the centers that we directly operate. And this is available between, right now, Antelope Valley as well as San Fernando Valley. We cover a little over 22,000 square miles of service area between all of the different counties that we service. And then we're operating a 400 million plus budget. So we've gotten pretty large over the years. So childcare financial assistance, so there's two particular programs specifically around childcare I'm gonna talk about. The first one is called childcare financial assistance. You might have also heard of it, formerly known as subsidized childcare. This helps parents that are working or looking for work or going into school, or maybe they're incapacitated, experiencing homelessness, pay for childcare services. There is funding available, an example, because sometimes people wonder, can I qualify for this? What is the income guidelines? And this is actually one program where the income guidelines are a bit more reasonable and up to date with what it really costs to live, in LA County at this point. So, for example, a family of 4 earning up to 7,900 per month can still qualify for this program. So it's pretty significantly high in comparison to some of the other programs I'll be talking about. There is an online application. It takes 3 to 5 minutes. It's short, quick, general information, and that's really just to kind of get you on the wait list. There will be more formal application and conversations and some more information after that, but to kick off the process, which is I call kind of an intake, it's a quick application. Care is also available for non-traditional hours, so like nights, weekends, graveyard shifts, so it's really, childcare is paid for or available for you, based on what your need is and what you're participating in. And then you get to choose the type of provider, so there's different providers you can choose from. You can choose from a childcare center, you can choose from a childcare family home, or you can choose for what we call an exempt provider, which is someone who is not licensed. It could be a family member, a friend, a neighbor, aunt, grandma, grandpa, cousin, sibling. All of those individuals would be considered an exempt provider because they're not licensed. We have the ability to give referrals for anybody in our system, but you also, if you know somebody that you're interested in, you can also, let us know. As long as the individual is willing to fill out the paperwork and go through the process, they'd be able to be a childcare provider for you. And if there's any questions as I'm going through it, please feel free to stop me, raise your hand. Oh, there we go, yes.
And how long is the waiting list for the ones that qualify to do all the paperwork, and the kid is ready to go, but I think that they have to wait like months, and when they, by the time the kids already have to go.
Not age out. Yes, so the waiting list can look different depending on which program. I'm gonna address the waiting list for the program I just talked about, which was the childcare financial assistance. That program has 4 different programs within it, what they call stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and an AP program. The AP program is the one that has a wait list. They've actually had a very large funding the last couple of years with everything that went on with COVID, so there really wasn't a waiting list. So if you applied, you were pretty much getting in. There was a big push to enroll a lot of people. That's the program that doesn't open up that often. And usually the families that have never been on cash aid are just coming in based on income eligible, that's the one that's on the wait list. If you're applying for stage 1 or stage 2, there is no waiting list. As long as you meet the qualifications, then you get enrolled. Stage 3, you only get into if you've gone through a stage 2. It's like a transition piece of it. So it's the AP program. Right now there is funding, so there really isn't a wait list. But that funding is really based on how much money they give. So once we enroll everybody, if there's no more money, we can't do anything until there's more money again, which is why it can be a lengthy process. But now's the best time. So the last year they've enrolled an enormous amount of people, and there was a huge push just to get people to know that it's available now. So please apply.
Yeah, right here in Lancaster, you have 2 centers.
So that one is a different program that I'll go through. That's the one I actually oversee. I'll get to that one. The waiting list looks different for that one, so I'll definitely touch on that one. This program is just specifically on childcare providers. You find your own provider or we can give you a referral. Those programs you're talking about, we directly operate, we run those centers. So I'll definitely touch on that and I'll address your wait list question as well. Okay. So strategic engagement, so we have government relations, we have policy and advocacy, we do research and evaluation, we have business community outreaches, community events and distributions, we do business and fund development, donor and volunteer relations, and statewide planning and initiatives. So even aside from the programs we're gonna cover today, we have a lot of other departments that engage in all of these things. So we really try to be out there in the community as much as possible. We do play dates, we donate things, we have fundraisers, a lot of different things that go on, with all of our other departments. Okay, early care and learning. So this is the program I specifically oversee. I'm in charge of doing or my team is in charge of doing all the enrollments within this division. And within the division, we have multiple different programs. So we formerly were really known for as early Head Start and Head Start preschool programs. We promote comprehensive school readiness for children ages birth to 5 and expectant mothers. So that is the age group that we serve within this program. So anyone outside of that age group, we usually will refer to our childcare financial assistance, which was the other program, because they cover ages 0 to 13. We do high quality services, including physical and mental health, nutrition, family engagement, parent leadership, support with disabilities, and early learning. So within this program, we have units that specialize in these areas. So children that may need additional support in the classroom, behavioral challenges, maybe they want to be referred for disabilities, maybe they have some nutritional needs. We have specific teams within our division that support the family and the child in that aspect. Right now, we have 19 CCRC locations, like I said, in San Fernando and Antelope Valley. Majority of those are in San Fernando Valley. Our goal is to continue to expand out here. One of the brochures I bought lists the locations we have, including the ones out here. We currently directly operate 3 centers out here, 2 in Lancaster, 1 in Antelope Valley, and we're working towards opening another one within the next year. But in addition to that, we contract with about, I want to say right now, we're about 30 childcare providers. And these childcare providers that we contract with, they are actually implementing all the Head Start regulations. The purpose of that is to raise the quality that the provider is providing in the classrooms at their home or at their particular center. So I think we have maybe about 6 providers right now out here that are signed up for that. And in terms of the wait list for this,
I have a question.
yes,
On the other slide,
yes,
the one before that,
no,
the one, yes. What specific types, and I don't expect you to go into real detail, I'm sure you got pamphlets over there that I will review. But in terms of supports with disability and early learning, does that carry over into the educational environment or is that just community?
no, it goes into the classroom, all the support services that they need. So for example, a child that we may have identified that maybe they have some additional needs.
But let me just clarify the question, because how does the child get connected to you? Is that through the community or through the school?
They have to be enrolled with us. So
Through the
these,
community.
yeah, so they've applied and they're enrolled in our programs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you will assist them with navigating educational services, if they have disabilities or stuff, you educate them on how to.
Yeah, so they're in our classrooms, so our staff are the teachers for these children, so these children are being served by us. And then we have we work with our local school districts. So if they qualify for an IEP or an IFSP, we help navigate that for the family. And then if they are getting services, those individuals are coming into our classrooms to provide those services. We also have staff that will go in and support and provide services.
So you all are functioning as a charter school,
We are not considered a charter school. We're federally funded.
but you provide education from what ages, what classes?
We have 0 to 5. So
0 to
we,
5. Okay, so that's like preschool, okay.
yeah,
See, I'm thinking in terms of, you know,
no, we
K
service
through
the,
12, you know, things like that, and you know, how to bridge some gaps.
no,
there.
our goal is
Okay, I get it.
we service them in hopes of helping them be ready for school when they transition.
Got it.
And
Okay.
we have 3 delivery systems. We do center-based, home-based, and then we do the childcare partnership, which is with the actual providers in the community.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
And then the wait list for this one is, the wait list is really based on slots. So if a center has 100 slots and all those slots are already full, there won't be a vacancy unless somebody leaves. And we don't really have a time frame on when someone's gonna leave, because they don't have to leave unless they age out or they move and they choose to leave. So that's where it's hard. I'll take your question in a moment for sure. That's where it's hard for us to say that you won't be on the wait list the entire time. One of the things that we're impacted, like every other Head Start now, is there's a very big shortage of teachers. So right now, all of our classrooms are not even open, and those that are open, they're not open to capacity. So we have room, we just can't open them because we need the staff. So we have a huge strategic plan that we're putting in place to hopefully get all our staff by June, so that upcoming year, we can open up to full capacity. So I know it's not the best response or what you'd want to hear, but it honestly is the reality of it. It is on the basis of there has to be space available. Yeah, question.
I have 2 questions now. From what you said. I'm gonna put the question I had at the back and I'm gonna ask this one because of something you said. So you do have the funding to run the program as far as hiring the teacher, you just have a shortage at this time.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you, from what you said, you partner with, say I have a daycare, and I wanna partner with you. There's steps that I have to go through to be able to partner with you to provide the care,
Yeah.
and you do that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a specific area, which is our EHS CCP. There's a manager there, supervision. There's a general intake the provider would fill out, and then somebody would reach out and give the information in terms of the criteria. So you do, because if you have to sign a contract and you have to be willing to implement the Head Start regulations, because the whole purpose of that is to raise the quality of your childcare. And then there's some other parameters and requirements. So if you accept that, they'll come out, they'll do an environmental check to make sure your environment's safe. If there's things that need to be changed, we support financially to fix those things because your environment does have to meet our ECRS requirement. And then if you're good, you sign up, and then we support with recruiting, but we also ask that if you already have children, then you help recruit the children that are already at your facility. So normally providers will get
into your program.
Okay. Yeah, and then providers get a stipend if they're already subsidized. If they're not, we pay for the full childcare.
Another question in
Yes.
Yeah, another. So you already have a child in your classroom, and you know that the child has a different issue, a different need. Do you have a department like for certified teachers to do certain needs?
So, yeah. So and Laura will get even more into it, even more into it when they get there. But yeah, the first phase of that is that we have mental health consultants that regularly go into the classroom to not just support one child, but to just support the teacher, the environment, all of the children. If anything is identified either by the parent, the teacher, or our mental health consultant, there is initial services we give, but then sometimes they may need services beyond what we can provide, so then we'll support them with like referrals. We also have an internal behavioral plan where our inclusion team will go in and work with the teaching staff. They have staff that will work with the teaching staff to kind of support the child. It just depends on what level of behavioral challenges and what the circumstances are. But yes, there definitely is services and supports in the classroom. Okay. Next one. And I think
So one of our other programs that CCRC offers is our research and referral program. They help with childcare planning, child development and parenting classes. They provide professional development courses to the childcare providers. They offer family engagement, so they'll do like socials, they'll help set that all up. They have health and safety courses, and they give out resources and tools to the childcare providers.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you guys have a literacy component? I know you do reading readiness, but is there a comprehensive literacy component within your program?
Within early care and learning?
So,
Like reading readiness, like phonemic awareness.
So what we do is, there is a specific curriculum that's followed, in our center base and our childcare providers, it's called creative curriculum. That is the curriculum that is being used to implement, what we feel those children can learn, yes, and it includes all of those things, math skills, but it's really led by children's interest and what they want to learn, in the classroom and what they're showing, yeah.
Okay.
And then they'll do studies based off that.
I have a question on the resource and referral, and the education part of it. If there is somebody that wants to be a part of those resources or be able to go in and perhaps teach the parents and the staff, how would I go about doing that?
If you want to give one of us, if you have a business card, I'm sure, okay, yeah. Okay,
And I have my computer as well. I'm a nutritionist, so that's why
okay.
I'm asking.
Yeah, we can definitely find who would be the contact. Research and referral is not either of our specialties, but we can definitely make sure that you get in touch with the right person. Yeah. And then one of our other departments is workforce development. So workforce development is designed to grow and strengthen the early care and education field. They offer a comprehensive program delivery designed for early educators and childcare providers. They offer a professional EC apprenticeship program and quality start coaching.
Hey, good morning again, Bernie, my name is Brandy. I am, talking a little bit about our family wellbeing home visiting programs. Our home visiting program, well, we have a lot of programs underneath our family wellbeing umbrella. So the first one on here is one of the programs I oversee in the AD office. I oversee the home visiting program, which is a program that supports family in home. As Anna had mentioned earlier, we have a couple of different ways to support families. We have the center based, the child care providers, and in-home. So our parent educators will go into the families' homes, support them. We use a curriculum called Parents as Teachers to support the family and teaching them how to interact with their child, how to look for different milestone delays. We complete lots of different assessments on all the children in the home. In order to participate in these programs, they do need to be under the age of 3 to be enrolled into the program, but we do service between prenatal to the age of 5, depending on what program that they are in. Our trauma-informed care is our TIC. That one is more for providers, where we support training and give them information on how to support their families and the children that they work with. Our BEADS is also one of our mental health. Can you see that?
Yeah, and I think I have a slide coming up.
Yeah, I think so, okay. Yeah. So Lori will talk a little bit about our mental health consults, and we have talked a little about how they support inside of the center, and she can talk how they support outside. our San Bernardino Care Coordination Program. I know we'll talk a little bit about that as well. We have that, available in our AD office now as well, so we're excited to have that here. Planning part, I don't think these ones are.
I'm gonna talk about funding prosperity.
Okay, I'm like, I don't think, so she'll talk a little bit about more, and then our statewide TIC, which is also the trauma informed care that goes for our providers. So as I had shared, I actually oversee two of these grants that are here, the California Home Visiting Department of Public Health Grant, as well as the DPSS, the Department of Public Social Service Grant. Both of these programs service 0 to age 5. They need to be under the age of 3 to enroll. We will enroll the youngest child. So if the family has multiple children, or if the mother is prenatal, we will enroll the unborn child so that the longevity of the program is extended for the family. We will supply assessments for all the children under the age of 5, regardless if they're the target child or not. We will go into the home, usually about 1 to 2 visits, depending on the family's needs, and support them in any way that we can. Whether that means we are doing the assessments, we're going with them to IEPs, we are providing them resources, providing them different activities. Both of our grants, we do group connections. We just had a group, we actually have a group connection tomorrow. So I will share the information. Also, it's actually our AD office. It's open to the public. It's an opportunity to just network with each other. Families come in with their children. We do different activities. I think this was called like red light, green light activities. We'll do that. We'll talk about the program a little bit. We also celebrate our graduations at these events. We have one tomorrow. So we have about 3 clients that are graduating who have completed the program after 5 years. So if we graduate, we'll have a ceremony for them. So we do different activities. In the summertime, we like to do stuff like at the park, things like that, so that people can get out, of the Zoom world, right? So then we have our early Head Start home-based education. They also use the parent teachers curriculum in those settings. They do it they do go into the client's home as well. They utilize the same type of curriculum and supporting the families prenatal to age 3 in that program. Our first 5 LA is just the same as the top 2. We do the same type of things. Those, we do get referrals straight from the hospital for that program. So the clients will give birth and a representative will go into the room and ask to talk to the family, give them information about the program and ask if they're interested, and we can get the referral right there from the hospital.
I have a question.
Yes.
Now, specifically, you're serving kids 0 to 5, right?
Mhm.
So they graduate. So it doesn't spill over.
So,
Or
yes
do
and
you-
no.
Do you connect them to others?
Absolutely. So we will do a transition depending on where their need is. So for the DPSS program, that program only is for 2 years. So if they come in at the age of 3, they will stay until 5, right? But if they come in at prenatal, they will only be 2 years old when the program for them is over. At that time, we can transfer them to our California Home Visiting Program because they're still under the age of 3. So they can continue that service for another couple of years until they turn 5. At that point, then we would support them on wherever the next step is for them in the direction they want to go to. So when they're getting close to graduation, we will have a transition meeting with the family, talk about what their plan is with the next step, and go from there, supporting them in the direction, whether they need to start meeting or getting IEPs in place, whether we need to find a school that will accept them because of behavioral things like that. So we'll just guide them and support them in that transition.
Now, you might not like me for this question.
Go ahead.
How successful is your percentage rate, like as far as transitioning people and families don't fall through the cracks, you understand what I'm saying? Like, when you said they come in, and then there's a cutoff, and then you have to transition them over, like from the under 3 to top.
So that's really based on the family. So if the parent wants to continue the service, we will transition. There's no lack of service, really. They graduate, their birthday's in July, their last service will be in July. In August, they'll be doing the new intake for the new service.
I just wanted that.
Yeah, so we're the same agency. So for example, I oversee DPSS, which is the public social service one. If I have a client that my staff says, oh, the family wants to continue services, I'm just gonna transfer them to one of my other parent educators.
Okay.
So it's just the next month.
Okay, thank you.
It's not mad. I'm gonna pass it to Lori and Bianca, and they're gonna talk a little bit about the different programs. Okay. First.
Hi, everyone. It's a lot of information, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And you can, grab us afterwards. I'll have some, business cards. We're gonna switch gears a little bit because I want to talk about mental health consultation, and sort of behavioral health as well. So does anyone here know what mental health consultation is? All right. So my staff, who are licensed therapists or licensed eligible therapists and master's level consultants, are going to go into the childcare provider and do what we call mental health consultation. We have consultants that work with our Head Start programs and early Head Start. But then I also supervise the Bees program. And the Bees is our own in-house mental health consultation program. So what my staff are doing, they're going into the providers' centers or homes. And they're looking at social and emotional development and how that development might be coming out in their behaviors. Sometimes our kids have challenging behaviors, right? And we want to educate the providers on maybe this is more social and emotional and not just a kiddo being a brat, right? And we also look at trauma-informed care and how trauma-informed care plays a role in how a child behaves or misbehaves. So we are working with the provider. The provider is our client. We're working with 0 to 5, the ages of 0 to 5. And for B's, it has to be a subsidized childcare provider. We are serving communities in San Fernando Valley, San Bernardino Valley, the Antelope Valley, and we're even stepping over to Victorville as well. And it's really amazing because we're helping teachers and center directors and family friends and neighbors providers understand why children sometimes behave the way that they do. So with these, we are. Oh, yes.
I have a question. Within the scope of that program and you giving the information and teaching the providers, are they given like a criteria to see if the child is behaving this way, or if the parent, there's certain things with the parent? Are you now working with them one-on-one, or is that an automatic referral to DPSS? Because sometimes the information is a little skewed, because if you go into the school system, they have a criteria. And if this child meets a certain criteria, then they're automatically referred to DPSS. In the case of coaching, then they have to get a referral. So I'm asking now on the 0 to 5 level, is it the same kind of situation? Or are you, don't ever refer them unless it's something you see that really, out of pocket?
Yeah.
But is it something that you can deal with in-house to service this teacher, to identify the situation, and then help the parent and keep it right there within before you have to refer it out?
It really depends on what we're seeing. So let me just talk a little bit more about Bees. So Bees offers 3 different types of consultations. And remember, the provider is our client, not the child. We offer classroom consultation where our staff will go in and they'll look at the classroom setup. And they'll talk about, is it set up appropriately, where the transitions are going smoothly, where the kids aren't running into things, where kids can see things at their level, right?
Just
Posters and
clarification,
whatnot.
and I do apologize, because I'm in K-8 system, and when you're talking about the classroom, I'm getting a little thrown. You're again talking about the classrooms in your setting, the providers from your setting,
Not
not within
necessarily.
the overall school structure
So
here.
with Bees, it could be any setting,
So, okay.
as long as it's subsidized childcare providers that are serving 0 to 5 age.
Okay, so again, that's usually gonna be independent people, that's not the main education outside
Correct,
preschool. That's the point I'm driving at.
But
Because what you're, I hear you, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but the things that you're speaking to in terms of understanding how to deal with trauma, how to assess that this child is not a behavioral problem, this child is tapping into some type of, let's say counter, transparency or something like that. A lot of what you're speaking to is relevant and needed in K through 8 education. So that's what I'm hearing as I'm hearing you speak, and it's kind of heartbreaking to me that you all do have the answers. I'm not gonna say you have all the answers. I'm not taking anything from you either, but I don't want people bomb rushing you like, you know, you can do all this, now you can't do what you're doing. But it's really, I'm giving you a compliment, actually. I know that I'm interrupting you and I don't mean to do that.
It's okay.
But from the perspective that I'm sitting in, I see that we're remiss in connecting some pieces here. That's all I'm saying.
I think that CCRC is really striving to grasp the kids 0 to 5, so when they move into the bigger setting,
Yes.
yeah.
Right, but I get, you mean like the.
In 5
variety-
years, so we gotta wait for those kids to get our system
Right.
5 years from now. And my focus, and I won't interrupt you anymore, my focus is the children that are in there now.
Right.
From K to
Yeah.
8 now that are suffering.
Yeah.
And we're gonna miss a whole slew of kids before these kids are ready. So that's just pretty much it.
Yeah,
And I
It's
can
pulling
speak
my
to that
heartstrings.
a little as well. So we have classroom consultation, where we're looking at the classroom and how it works for the kiddos and the teachers and the staff. We have program consultation, where we're looking at policies and procedures. Maybe the center or the provider needs help with program policies and procedures, staffing, things like that. And then if the provider wants to refer a child specifically for us to look at for social and emotional development and trauma-informed care, then we can work with that child and that family within the scope of the center or family, friends and neighbors home. So there's a lot more to that, and I can offer you, my business cards if you want to talk more. It's all free. Okay, then I'm gonna talk about Planning Prosperity Program. So this program is also free. And, what it is we offer 2 parts to Planning Prosperity. We offer 6 groups on trauma-informed care to parents and caregivers. So they're getting a 6-group, series on trauma-informed care, and they get a stipend for each group that they attend, all right? If both mom and dad attend, they each get the stipend for each group that they attend. And that is done with our trauma-informed care consultants. The second phase of Planning Prosperity is mental health consultation. So we will offer 3 visits through mental health consultation to the family, to the child, to whoever needs our mental health consultation. We can offer 3 visits to them. And with these and Planning Prosperity, if the child needs more, if they need a referral to the regional center, if they need a referral to mental health, where you're diving deeper into mental health, they need more than just what we can give, then we're gonna connect them to those specific referrals. Both of these programs, again, are free of charge. And I'd love to give you my business card if you're interested in hearing more about that.
Are these modules done in person or via Zoom?
These modules are done via Zoom, English and Spanish, and these is also offered in English and Spanish. And you have questions?
Hi, I just want to know, I've been a provider for over 20 years, a home provider. Where is this information at? How do the providers get this information? Because some of it I know, but some of this I've never seen.
Can I interject just a little in the interest of time? So this is why we're bringing in CCRC here now, right? I think I've been sharing a little too much about them. I used to work for CCRC, so I'm like, it's kind of like the little secret in the AV that we're just not really tapping into. And they provide so many services, as you can see. One of the goals here would be like build that collaboration, right? How can we partner up with CCRC so that we have maybe more informational workshops? Maybe have like a session where we bring in community members who may need these services to learn about them or to like start signing up, what does that look like, right?
Right.
And that's really what our CCA, our community change agenda is about. We know there is a need in the community. How can we build that connection to the resources that are in our community? We're just not tapping into them as much as we should, right? And cause like I hear it from you guys, right? I hear the questions, I hear that like this is what we're looking for. This is exactly what we want to see more of in our community. So that is one of our goals. Like, I'm just gonna like.
check in this, but to answer your question, a lot of these programs that you're seeing are new, right? I think outside of the childcare and Head Start already having been established, home visiting is probably the longest of all of those other programs we just talked about, which is almost, I think, 5 years now going on. Our mental health consult, the BEAS program and the other two classes, I think 2 years. I think our care coordination has only been here for the last year, since last January it started. And it's just recently in AD, right? So a lot of these programs that you're talking about, you haven't seen, and the trauma informed, all those things, those are fairly new services that are being provided. So that's probably why you're not hearing about them a lot. We have started doing a lot of outreach events to talk about these programs. So regardless of what outreach event we're doing, we're bringing all the different flyers for the programs.
So as a provider, where would I go on the website?
So you can go to the website, I'll let Lori tell you more, but they are on the website, any outreach event, okay, I have a lot of.
Okay.
So any outreach event, you can kind of get that information, or if you have a worker that you talk to, the resources department. Well, I'm saying like if you have, maybe not you, but a parent or if someone does have a provider, if you're one of the providers within the Head Start network, anything like that.
Leaving our business card.
And I'm here. Yeah, we'll be at the table. If there's any questions, I know we have to move along.
I know, sorry.
Thank you, lady.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And again, they'll be here for the rest of the meeting, so make sure you catch them before you leave, right? Like this is an opportunity to make that connection. Okay, and so that's a perfect lead into our CCA priorities. Again, we've talked about 3 different goals. Jarell is passing out basically sort of like a recap of our CCA. These are the 3 goals that we focused on. These are the objectives that we talked about. The strategies really encompass the conversations that we've had over the last year. So what I would like for us to do, if I can get my presentation back up.
Sorry about that.
No, it'll come back up. What I would like for you guys to do is have a quick discussion. Can we go on to the next slide? Okay, so here we have goal. I put them in order the way that they were presented last time was straight across. So it's facing A, B, and C. Right? Goal A focuses on the creation of more programs, and we need more childcare programs. I want to say like June, maybe a little bit earlier than June, we talked about how many childcare programs we have in Palmville, how many we have in Lancaster, how many childcare centers versus family childcare homes, and what was the impact post-COVID or during COVID in terms of like closures of childcare programs. So we identified that as the area that we would like to focus on as Best Start. Then we talked again about resources. We say there's a lack of resources, or we hear that a lot, right? That there's a lack of resources in the AV side. I think one of the things that we've talked about a lot is that there are resources. We just need to better connect them. As organizations, we need to be able to better connect this information so that then we can relay that information down to the community, right? Or over to the community. And so we said that was our second goal. Let me just get to this third goal. And then our third goal was, as you heard it directly from our presenters here, the lack of the teacher shortage, right? We don't have enough teachers to staff the classrooms. And so we identified that as another area, area that we'd like to focus on. So if we could go on to the next, we have it in Spanish, so the handout that we passed out is English and Spanish. I would like to have this conversation with you guys first in your groups, and we'll do a quick little report back. Before we vote, what is our priority? Because again, Best Start AV, we can say like, we're gonna tackle all of it, right? We wanna do all of it, and that'd be amazing. But if we want to, If we really want to move the pendulum, we need to be strategic about it. The question is, where do we start? What is the priority? Okay, so question, which goal is important to you and why? Which goal do you view as most attainable for our best start community? And which goal do you believe will bring the most impact to children 0 to 5 years old in the AZ? Okay, so if you guys can have that conversation again, we did leave off last meeting saying that we would vote on what is our priority as Fast Start AV. So I will pass out little papers where you'll circle what is the priority that, which ones you identify as priority. So that'll be sort of like that'll be our vote, our voting system. So please have that discussion with your group. We don't want this to be like a just eating, meeting, mighty, low, I want to circle this one. So really think about, right, like which one is important to me and why, which one is important to the community, and which one can we as Fast Start really work towards. So we'll have about 5 minutes to do that, and then we'll continue along. We can expect our agenda today.
That is good, and I gave them, this to take back to. So it helps in the line.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I just like, so we went over a little bit, but they had a lot of questions. A lot of people had questions.
Because we can bring them up and say, like, for workshop.
Yes. And it's not the questions that they brought, that was brought up by the community, we're gonna need. I can't.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so bad.
No, no, no.
Also and focus on the whole child.
I'm like, I'll walk around because it's not gonna stand as well.
Again, this professional activities are growing that early education child. I would say that is a priority, considering ladies and gentlemen, not being able to secure. And I can say that they're they're having problems. From K through 12, they're having this security. Some of them within like negative attitude, not negative so long that products that they're not staying. There's such negative feedback. So who would? And the truth is, not every aspect of it is bad. If you make it to this, you go out. Obviously, which one? That's what you're not doing anything for everybody.
And I think
And there are so many.
They're not negligent, they're separating. It's just what the thing.
At any rate, here and you should have. Down here. I mean, you know, say it's like the burden is on you.
No. I'm happy to have it. Because that it's not coming. It's just like ignorance of the law is so extreme. We know that we need things that they just happen, like the first question. When we call, you call the needs, they have needs. I have some issues with CRC navigating the needs. The best one is bridging the gaps. And you can be the gap. I'm not saying that we're gonna go to this agency to talk. You gotta tell everybody everything. That's not.
Certain things you get off of certain services that you will go out to people and you go out and partner with them.
They do get like.
Oh, there it is. Okay. All righty, everyone. I got a little bit sidetracked there, but. Can I get you guys' attention right back over here? I know the conversations are really good. Go for it. Thank you, Nora. All right, can I get one here or two to share? Miss Loretta?
Oh, I was telling you, you would be quiet, I'm sorry, but I'm really. Okay, so as you can see, I'm an ADHD, okay?
If you could just share out, maybe go with Sharon in her group.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so what we discussed in our group was, and if I can get a general consensus, you guys can correct me. I believe that what we came up with is we identified that children having access to quality childcare and early education that meets the unique needs of the child and family actually ties 2 and 3 all together. So number 1, I believe we agree that should be the focus goal. And in focusing on that, the other 2 will kind of get taken care of. Okay, so I answered the question for the group. You want the next table? Sure. Okay. There you go. Thank you.
I think the same thing, but I think our strongest proponent was, we felt like the providers, the professionals, they need access to the information because they can't give it out if they don't know about it. Like I said, we had just the direct contact right here. You are the people with the money. This young lady is a provider. She had no idea your program existed. You said one was 5 years, one was 2 years. She's been doing this 20-something years and had no idea. So the lack of communication between, it's not that you don't have the communication, it didn't get to her. So it's like send an email, text message, letter in the mail, something. When something new happens, that should be an automatic production of some kind of communication to go straight. She shouldn't have to call you and say, hello, what do you have available today? She shouldn't have to do that. If you're on her, she's on your payroll to get paid to take care of the kids, you should automatically call her and say, this is something new. Come on in, give us a call, come find out what it's about. She had no idea. That was our only source of frustration is how do the parents, they need to know, but the provider should know first. So that they can tell the parents so that they can contact them and say, hey, we need help. I don't know. Me.
Oh, no, go to the next table.
I'll come get it. I'll try not to confuse and not talk too much. But we were talking that, yeah, it's really important what you say and what you say too. But we chose number 2 because how we gonna get to go to that community, to our parents? We need to find a way. And what I'm facing for the last 2 weeks as a family support specialist, that even though we don't want it or we like it or not, nationwide, we have a lot of new immigrants. They don't speak English. They don't know the system. They don't know nothing. It's totally new. And they've been asking me, hey, how can I get classes? I don't even have a driving license, but I'm pregnant. No, we don't like it, no. They're gonna have kids here, a lot. So we need to be prepared. We need to have classes. We need, like you said, how she gonna find out about all this information? Imagine having the language problem, no driving license, no friends, nothing. Like, been here for years, they're having a hard time, getting access like the regional center.
Oh, you need an
Advocate.
So we need like to go and see like down the bottom, like exactly where is the foundation, where are we not doing right? To let these people know what they could do.
So I have a question, and it might be a little homework to that. Ma'am, can you get her name and phone number? And you pull up her case and find out why she doesn't have what the support services? Y'all right here.
That's how we do it.
So make sure you tell her before she leaves. We don't go over to it. Okay. She gonna help you.
Kind of want to picture that we keep going because we're gonna run out of time. You're gonna share.
The care coordination program.
Can you do like in the minutes?
Oh, yeah. Maybe under focus. So just to address, kind of the things that were said, so we have a new care coordination program. We offer developmental assessments to parents and families that are interested in learning more about their child's development. We also perform a family needs assessment to help identify any needs that families do have. And what we then do with any needs that are identified, we help connect them. We help them navigate through those community resources We cover everything from clothing to food to regional center referrals. Just helping them navigate through that process. Families do not have to be CCRC families to join this program. I would love if everyone would take, we have flyers here, we have flyers back there, you can scan it, it's super easy to fill out, you can take it to your clients as well. And bring it answer any questions.
And here's what we can do as well, if you're thinking of, you know, just a couple minutes after the meeting and connect with them directly. Oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought, but I'm gonna scoot back over here to the front and recap this out of this little.
I'd be going to the senior moment. No, it's an overflow moment. It's an overflow.
So, again,
The boats.
I don't wanna get stuck you know, so much in like the conversation, just because these are the conversations that we already have had. Right, and this is why, that one goal that focused the one on resources, we were really, specific in the language. It's building a network, collaborative networks of different organizations in the AV, because CCRC can do it all by themselves. These are amazing, I'm sure you guys, but, right? How can we make sure that we stay informed of their information and that they're relaying the information out to the community in a way that if Ms. Jan wanted some information but couldn't get to the CCRC office and maybe another organization was a little bit more local to her, then she could still get those resources from there, right? If there's someone like,
Elena.
Ms. Elena, right, who's maybe receiving this information already, and maybe Ms. Jan knows, here's someone I can connect with, right? And then they can update it. So it's how do we make sure that the resources are not getting stuck in one single location? How can we make sure we break down? So that's goal number 2. But what I would like you to do, if you move on to the next slide there, Mr. Earl passed out some little cards. If you could just circle which goal you believe is the priority or should be the priority of the best start AV. The circle one, please, don't circle one. Okay. The circle one, we know that they're all equally important, but the circle one. They are in English and Spanish, so each paper only counts as one vote.
And when you finish, just pass them to the front of the table and I'll pick them up.
But before you finish, Loretta, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Down at the bottom of the paper, please identify whether you are a Best Start AV member or a non-member. To become a member, you do it. We did recap this at our last meeting, so no worries, I'll recap it really quick. We do have a Best Start, what is the name of our?
Membership form.
Oh, the membership. We do have a membership form. Some of the requirements are that you be an active member of Best Start AV, so that you're attending.
Can I get one of those papers in the little square paper?
So please make sure you know you have.
I wanted
signed
you all
on
to
this
take this
form.
back.
You
Okay.
have
And so you can
actively
review, because
involved
we
with Best
do
Start
need to
AV. I
collaborate
just
with CCRC,
Now,
and we do need
But,
to,
sorry, member or non-member? And if you need a membership form, please make sure you connect with our outreach team.
her last name.
No,
I remember. There's a white lady.
All right, questions, comments,
No, it wasn't.
I used to come, I went out on pregnancy
No,
leave and I was coming to the Best Start Zoom and I would present and do things like that. And she would come try and advise me, Tracy, I gotta see.
Okay,
she working for the
I'm gonna-
DOJ, she left us. She just went and abandoned us, but she's still.
Right, but no, that's how you see
can we
it.
go to the red?
Oh.
So
Do I need to collect the ballots and
Yes.
before you?
Send it up
You
forward.
wanted me to?
This
Yes.
section, this next
Thank you.
section starts with
Thank you.
what's been happening with Best Start AV, what has been going on in the community, what have our committees been up to? This is an opportunity for you to learn a little bit of what Best Start has been involved in the last 3 months, and hopefully inspire you if you're not already, involved in the committee, maybe get involved in the committee. But also, that reminder that something very special to me that happens in this space is the connection of different organizations, different community members who are able to partner and take services that one organization offers to another organization. right? So different communities. So if we can go on to the next slide, I do want to start off with a shout out.
Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Huddleston. All right,
Hold on, I don't know if he's ready. But Mr. Huddleston, partnered up with Los Angeles School District, and offered a STEM workshop. Do you guys want to come up and just share a little?
Come on, Joseph Huddleston. No shine.
Share a little bit about like how this collaboration happened and what you guys were able to achieve in the community, what that looked like.
First of all, glad to be here. I get a word in, but not out there saying anything.
I know.
What we decided to do is to get our program out of the way. That's our first mission. We wanted to make sure that we get our program. So, I wasn't here for one of the meetings, and we met someone here in the near, met the Omar, and they came to me and we talked and we agreed on doing a STEM event at Wilsona. Now, Wilsona is on 180th Street East, so it's pretty far. A lot of people don't go out there, so, because it's far. But we agreed to go, and the result is that we had an event like this, where we had a lot of students come through. And part of this was to get the young people excited about science. Get them excited to and it's something that they could see and touch and do things with. So this is what we're trying to do here. And it really does boil down to just doing it. So I'm gonna say this to everyone here. If you have a location that you want us to come, it's easy for us to stay where we are, but we're willing to come to where you are. So just keep that in mind, and we're serious about what we're doing. We do it because we want to do it, we do it because we know that the community will benefit from this. I don't see how we could be in an area that's supposedly aerospace, and there's no connection to all of the things that they have to do.
Awesome, Mr. Huddleston.
Thank you so much. And that's right, is that the Antelope Valley is not just Palmdale, Lancaster, right?
Right.
We really appreciate, like, the collaboration wasn't just like, oh, I read someone, it really something came out of this. Just a quick little recap of our 0 to 3, the growing brain. We just finished our 7-unit training. It was so much fun. I really loved it, and I enjoyed just being able to connect with those who attended.
Yeah.
This was 7 units, 3-hour trainings over the course of 3 months. One of our community members, Denise Fawcett, actually became a certified trainer as well. She was able to deliver that training with me. And then we had, both community members and staff from different organizations join in those meetings. I think one of the biggest takeaways, for me was when participants would come to me like, Carla, why aren't we doing more of this? How can I take this information back to the parents that I work with, back to, the social workers that I work with? What would that look like? And so we're really excited to share that in June, we'll be offering the 0 to 3 train the trainer. We will have, 0 to 3 actually come out here and train, up to 20 community members to be able to deliver this training. The training is also offered at CCRC online. That's where I got my certification. Yes, so that was 0 to 3. We'll see it again in June. Our goal is that community organizations get trained, have at least one staff member be trained so that they can also offer these trainings, not just here at a Children's Bureau Family Resource Center, right? But I know that there's a lot of great organizations over on Lancaster Boulevard, over on Palmdale Boulevard, and in the outskirt areas of the Antelope Valley that can really take this information and bring it closer to the community.
Carla, can I say something real quick?
Yes.
I'm actually in the process, and this is why it's so important that if you come to the training and become a trainer, in the process of taking it to my church to the childcare.
Yeah.
So that way, anybody that comes in to work in our nursery, to work in our children's church, to work in our youth department, have gone through the brain class so that they understand how that child's brain develops. So even if they're a teenager and they're having issues, look at what may have happened when the child was younger during those developmental years. They may not have gotten the attention and the interaction that they needed. So I think that's just really important that we do take it and take it back to the people that we work with.
Thank you, Ms. Denny. Yeah, you guys, how was your meeting? We are blooming in the AV, aren't we? The other event that we should have was covered for Antelope Valley. Oh my gosh, every time we have this training, I just love it. I learned so much. And it was beautiful just at the end when everybody was like, okay, when does the next cohort start and how many people can I get in? Can I do all 100? And we're like, no, yes, you could, technically, if you were like the first one to sign up and everything, but the Trauma Informed Antelope Valley is really bringing awareness to different community leaders and residents to have a better understanding of how does trauma impact the community as a whole, right? We're doing all this work within the community, but do we understand what the community has been through? And it's so like, how can we work with the community to meet them where they are, right? And it shouldn't just be like, hey, I have this great program, let me implement it my way, right? It's where is our community so we can meet our community where they are. If you go on to the next slide, I think we have the flyers in case anyone is interested. For the next two cohorts, I do anticipate that space is gonna fill quickly, so please make sure that you fill out the application, the grant application. The grant application really is to ensure that you are committed to attending all 3 days of the program. We will have a second cohort in May and the third cohort in September. Once we complete these 3 cohorts, if you identify yourself as someone who wants to be part of the Trauma Informed AD core team, you will receive an invitation to participate in the Train the Trainer. And as part of the core team, we'll be able to lead the designing of a curriculum specific to the Antelope Valley. So again, this is a great opportunity. We want this to be a community-led initiative. So we need the community to be involved, right? The flyers are over in the front, so make sure you catch those on your way out as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or anyone on the Best Start team. We can go on to the next one. I think that is, no, we still have our committee updates.
Have our committee
Did
update.
we have someone from the Welcome Committee specifically?
Definitely.
Stephanie, right?
Steffi.
So are you gonna take a picture of all of us so we can be up on there?
We've been
We
taking
should be
pictures.
like, this is our regional meeting. Let's shout out our regional meeting.
What?
Well, that's why you gotta go to the welcome committee. We love your idea. Yes, so we have our welcome committee every 4th Tuesday of each month. It's gonna be on Zoom from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're just starting out. The last meeting we had was in February 27th. And it was just a basic introduction of roles, responsibilities, what is the welcome committee? As I can tell you right now, it's just more of the membership, which you guys to be more hands-on at the regional meetings. So saying that, I want to shout out Gloria, Patty. So they're part of the welcome committee. You probably saw them coming up to you, asking you to sign in. They're amazing. So I invite you all to join, next week on Tuesday, yes. Next week on Tuesday at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Zoom. If you scan the QR code, we'll be sending you updates and reminders and the Zoom link, of course. So.
Awesome.
The QR code is on the literature?
It's right here.
Yeah, just scan it. I won't move it yet.
They can also access it from the link tree, right?
Yeah, it will be, but you can scan it right now.
Go ahead, scan it.
Stephanie worked hard on getting that QR code.
She does. She's a QR code queen.
That it? Oh, okay. Oh, also, sorry. And if you guys wanted to register to any upcoming events that were showed today or are gonna be shared, Again, Kari, Tess, Gloria, our amazing crew to help you guys sign up too, okay?
Stand up so they can see him.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. And next up, we have our data committee.
Data.
All right. I always get so jealous of Stephanie. I tell her right now, I'm telling her right now that I wish I had the level of engagement that all the committee has. I feel like people look at data committees, they're like, oh God, it's math homework. But it's a bit more than that. What I have going on for us in data committee, I have Kelly here too, who can help us attest, is that there's a lot of importance in disseminating information. Right, a huge part, as our data shows in, within our surveys and within talking to you guys and our focus groups, is that, dissemination of information, what we share here is really important, such as our data maps, or what's going on in the AV, what resources are available, what our presenters are talking about. So what data community goes over is kind of building capacity for being able to bring that to your organization, to yourself as an individual, so that you feel equipped with the tools to be able to be engaging in special projects like this, to be able to look at data, clean it, organize it, make sense of it, synthesize it, so that it's not something that's scary to you and makes it feel like it's a challenge or a barrier in your quest or your hopes to better your communities. So that's what data community is here for, is that we're here to give you guys capacity building with that, and also community build too. I'm hoping to build a core team as well, just like, we got here with the welcome committee. And being able to kind of, engage in research projects and being able to bring back information to present to the, partnership. So that's just a snapshot of it. There's a lot more to it, but we're going to see more as the year goes on. We'll take more time. Thank you guys.
Thank you, David.
Yes, please get involved with our data committee. One of the things that I hope I will be requesting of the data committee eventually would be like the needs assessment, right? Like, what else do we need here in the AV? And I don't mean that in general, like, what do we need, what do we want? But just thinking of our goals, right? What is the landscape of maybe, the number of programs available per area, right? In our rural communities, how many childcare centers, how many family childcare programs do we have? Maybe if any of them have any slots, right? How many slots do we have in these areas? So things like that, but eventually that request will come. Policy committee, where are my policy people? Oh, the one policy person, she just left the room. That's how we do in the policy committee. What happens is everyone's always flying in and out of Sacramento, right? And so no one's ever in here. I was like, all right, so leave me all alone. So they left me, but that's okay. I'm gonna share some quick updates of what we looked at our last meeting. The policy committee meets on the second Tuesday of the month from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Zoom. Sorry, I don't put the QR code, it's on the link tree. But the next meeting will be April 9th, 2024. Our focus in the policy committee is any legislative bills relating to early education, kind of keeping track of them, monitoring, analyzing, and then bringing the information back. This is the first sign that the policy committee is very active, I think. So we could kind of hit the floor running and already identified a couple of bills that we are thinking, is this something that as a Best Start AV, do we want to support? Do we want to maybe meet up with our local officials? We have one representative here, so it's nice to have you here present. And is this something that we would like to say, hey, a local elected official, would you be able to support this when it comes time to vote? So if we could just do a quick recap here. The first bill we looked at was AB 1930 Reyes, which focuses on teaching credentials. And basically, the associate teacher permit, there is a cap to the number of times it could be renewed. And associate teacher level permit holders, once they reach that cap, which I believe is you can only renew once. Twice? I forgot the number. I think it's one. So because it's renewed every 5 years after those 10 years, they have to like move on and reach the next level of credential, or kind of forfeit and kind of can't renew it, right? So then you can't continue to work as an associate level teacher. And there's many reasons as to why this would really benefit the, teaching community. Really, it's being able to continue, in this position, without having to leave it, right?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you have passed the CBEST, does that, suffice for, like? 'cause
That's a great question. I don't think so.
Okay.
There's a matrix to the different levels of credentials that you can receive specific to early education, and then it's different for, K through 12. So the requirement would be different.
It used to be if you passed the CBEST, you kind of met the requirement.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Am I hearing a yes?
When you have that, there's like other options.
Yeah.
You can have like 12 units or something higher. So yeah, that one would probably already get you like master teacher level.
Okay.
Yeah, on the matrix, it explains it all.
Awesome, thank you so much. So that's one, and then AB 2263 by Friedman, is the California Guaranteed Income Study and Funding Act. So back in this is why I need to carry my papers, I always forget my dates, but, basically the Guaranteed Income, pilot program, provided guaranteed income to families, particularly those who had children 0 to 5, experiencing homelessness, domestic violence, and or, pregnancy. So this guaranteed income really supports families, but after this program ends, the question is, what happens next, right? So what this bill is asking for is, a study to be done, right? Is this something that we want to continue exploring in California? Should we, as a state, maybe offer this on a regular basis? What does this look like? So that's what this bill is asking for, something to kind of like the, what happens next. AB 2343 is the CalWorks Child Care Program that's really connecting, programs that, have children who are in the CalWorks program, child care providers who have children enrolled in CalWorks to be able to work with resource and referral agencies and other programs like Department of Social Services to better connect families experiencing homelessness and domestic violence, to those resources. What that looks like, I'm not exactly sure. That's one thing that we're eyeing, like, what would that entail, right? What does that mean for childcare providers to now have to offer this type of, service to families? I believe in there, wrote it down right? They get, support from those resource and referral agencies, in our case, CCRC, right? So what would that look like for our community, for our childcare community? So those are 3 bills that we are, that we sort of looked at, last Tuesday. For the last Tuesday, I don't even know what Tuesday we're on.
Yeah.
But I did want to quickly offer and ask if maybe you had any policy related updates that you'd like to share.
Senator Wilk hasn't put out anything to do with education in this legislative package. The last one, he had a couple bills, they died in committee, unfortunately. But there's not too much next time for the policy committee. I'll try to be on to see what we have for updates on that. Regarding other bills that are to do with early childhood education, other
Any other bills that would impact the AD?
bills that would impact the AV, yes. Bills that I can get into depth right now with the short amount of time, no. But one of the biggest ones he's been working on is the wildfire tax exemption bill, which is a bill that will impact any families that were impacted by the fires in 2020 and onwards. Any settlements will be tax exempt from the California taxes that they get on those. So anyone impacted by the fires in Santa Clarita that were in 2021, the fire right up here in Juniper Hills in 2020, and a couple other fires, trying to make it so that way they're all tax exempt. That's the biggest one that we're hoping gets passed.
Thank you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but gotta get them all in, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's just kind of like the update from the policy committee, if we can go on to the next slide. I did also want to share, just because we're down to like almost the last 15 minutes, guys, and time flies when I shop. Capacity building opportunities. We will have a couple of trainings coming up. Please save the date. We're gonna have the baby science early childhood educator training on April 20th. That is a Saturday. It is a 3-hour training. If you know childcare providers in the community who would really benefit from taking this training, receiving the resources to introduce baby signs, like baby sign language, being able to communicate, children, little ones being able to communicate even before they talk. This would be a great training for them, to take. April 20th, 9 AM to 12 PM. It will be on our link tree so that you can register once we have that on there. For now, it is just to save the date. And then baby science instructor training on May 8th and 9th. This is a 2-day, all-day training from 9 AM to 4 PM. This training is for community programs. So if you would like to offer workshops, in your organization or through your agency, this is a training that you can take and you will receive the resource, the lesson plans, flyers, brochures to market the, training, May 8th and 9th. Any questions?
a flyer or just online?
So we will have a flyer. We haven't sent out the flyer.
Where's Linktree?
Linktree, we have our little,
A card, a resource card.
Linktree is right here. If you are close to the Linktree, it's right over here. Okay. So we'll be posting this one on, again, this one is just the same that they want to make sure we start sharing this in the community and the registration will open up hopefully by Monday.
I have a question. Can parents?
Yes.
So Nancy's.
So I was thinking right now. And then, has anyone here heard of the Certificate in Applied Positive Psychology program that the city of Palm has? Yes, because that's a part of cohort 1. So Tess was part of cohort 1. I attended cohort 2. The city of Palmdale is funding the Certificate in Applied Positive Psychology program, and this program is presented by the Wellbeing Lab. What they do is they have community leaders, residents, attend an 8-month program to learn about, well, the science of well-being, right? How do we feel good, struggle well, and function effectively despite adversity, in our personal lives and in our community? And what does that look like when we engage in our community? It's a great program. I personally enjoyed it so much. And so what we're hoping to do is have a Best Start AV, a group of participants who participate in the CAP program. And then at the end of the 8 months, you do have to present a project as part of like the graduation and receiving the certificate. So that project would be funded by Best Start AV. So we would help you guys, or I would be the contact to support you in developing that project. And then we could do like a workshop here, we could do a conference, we could do whatever that project looks like. Oh, Jordan, you were part of that too.
One of my friends was a part of that, the test, Anita Smith, she's a social worker for DMA, and she actually did the event at my senior. We have a center, and we did the event there.
Yes, and that's the thing, that the participants, again, are from all over the AV. Everyone has a different focus, right? So there, you can design a project for seniors, for middle school students, for teachers. So as part of BESTAR, what we're asking for is a team that will focus on early childhood education. My team fell through on EC, we did something else.
Do you have like a brick and mortar store, or are you just online?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a site that you work at in the AV?
Who?
That's correct.
This is our site.
Yeah, Children's Bureau.
I'm new, so.
No worries, no worries. Yeah,
We are
okay,
kids,
so.
love brick and mortar.
It's these formal. So Best Start AV, remember, is the initiative of, it's a partnership between Children's Bureau, Antelope Valley, and the community. So we are Children's Bureau staff, Yildiz ADPH staff, and then everyone is community.
Great, that helps.
Yes. And so if you would like to apply as a Best Start AV member, please email me. You can apply, and if you decide maybe you don't want to focus on EC, you want to do something else, you can totally apply on your own. This year, the city of Palmdale is covering the entire a program cost. I think was over $5,500. So City of Palmdale is covering the entire cost. You do have to fill out the application. It's very easy. I have a couple of questions. How will this program benefit you? How do you intend to use the knowledge either in your organization or in the community? So again, we're asking for Best Start AV members to focus on ECE, the group project to then focus on ECE. I actually brought a couple of flyers as well as what the syllabus looks like because it is a little bit intense. You do have to do a day and a half of meetings once a month, a full Thursday and half of Friday, and then Wednesday evenings from like 7 to 8:30 on the days that you don't have interest in class. So it is a bit intense. I will be supporting with any reading assignments. I can do monthly check-ins with you. And yeah, I can help with completing the application as well. If you'd like to, please reach out to me. I will be here. And if you are ready to apply, there is the QR code. Again, I will pass out a couple of the flyers.
I'll let her take that.
Questions?
Any questions? Interest?
Anybody interested?
I am.
Oh, you guys, my heart is fluttering.
I declined because of the cost. And I thought about I don't have 5,500 for that, so I said no.
But now,
I'm considering it now.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a great point, because I too was like,
but yes,
Yeah, they give you a stop there.
City of Palmdale covering the whole thing.
I checked with the mother, she said, no, I'm not giving you that.
smart woman.
No, this year again, 100% covered by City of Palmdale.
Okay, now, you live in Lancaster, no discrimination there, right?
No.
No, they'll let you.
Oh, because it's funded by.
I live in
So
Palmdale.
the program is for all of the.
I work here and live here.
Oh, okay.
I could do it
Okay, you could do it.
if I didn't have 1,000 things on my plate. They trying to get me to do it. And Denise keeps looking at me. Stop looking at me, Denise. Yeah, you.
I'll give you the flyer.
do it.
Can we go to the next?
Yeah.
Oh, good. This is for you.
Yeah.
Okay. We had a lot of things going on today, you all, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go around the room. Because we gave you a lot of food for thought. You ate sufficiently.
Yes.
And we are going to feed you the body as well, but we fed your body. So, thank you so much. Takeaway from the presentations today. Let me get just one or two people. What were your takeaways from today's presentation? And what I would like to see happen from this point? What would you like to see? From everything that we talked about, everything we reviewed, what would you like to see happen? So who wants to just share one takeaway? I'm looking at you, Mr. Hudson. You guys will talk.
Well, I have attended mostly online.
Yes, I know.
My so it's more exciting and all that.
What would you like to see happen?
Well, I was looking forward to hearing about some committee that dealt with connecting the different agencies here. And I don't see where that's happening. I'm interested in that.
Okay, so now you're at the table with CCRC. So let's talk about connecting some connectivity. Anybody else? My takeaway from today's presentation was. Yes, ma'am.
I just like community and the fact of, partnering with community stakeholders, trying to get services to families. That's so important, so key. And what I would like to see from this is that all of what is being said and created, it would be implemented in a way that the families will really be blessed with services. Yes.
Anyone else would like to share? Your takeaway, my takeaway from the presentation today was, and what I'd like to see happen. So we had a lot of information. And I love what Kelly did. She said, okay, you're at the table, now connect Ms. Jan talked to CCRC, suggested get her number, that's connectivity, and we have stakeholders. We have CCRC in the house, let's begin to sew some things together. Because we are now, when you voted, that was your platform to put some feet to the pedal. Now it's time to get to work. Okay, as a community partnership, now we start doing, right? We've been talking about it, now it's time to be about, it, right? Next week, Tony? So, we have announcement, what's coming to, Gloria, come on, Gloria. Yeah, come on, this is our community partner, come on, Gloria, she's gonna do our announcement.
Thank you. I want to just thank everybody. I had a lot of information for them today. A lot of information from CCRC. I had no idea. There were some programs, there were no income required. As you can see, my little partner is gonna come next to me, so excuse that.
Yeah, and she's wearing real cute shoes.
So I guess, starting with the first one, the stakeholders convening, that's gonna happen Thursday, March 28th, from 10 to 12. Via Zoom, please register. I myself need to register to this as well. Our next slide. And also, our planting prosperity. I attended one, the young lady Hilda. I was very surprised as I'm navigating my first child. I need all the resources I can and all the tools. This was very interesting, very informative. I still continue to learn so much. I want to actually recommend, it was very satisfying when I left her workshop. It was really, really good. So that's also, I guess it happens on Fridays.
And it's free. And it's free.
Oh, it's free as well. You register with her, you contact her. So far, I think she's been having a couple of more coming up. I believe this Friday as well, from 10 to 11, I believe. I don't know if I see a date here. I'm sorry if I don't see it. So that's that also happening. And the next. And our Saturday, the 27th from 9 to 1, Child Abuse Awareness Walk. And that's happening here in Palmdale, and McAdams. So also get your information for that. Register also online. And the Fun Fair family as well, that's happening. I thought I had this, oh, here we go. March 30th, and that's on Lancaster. It's free for all the community as well. Then I also need to email as well. And so, get your information, and I believe you guys also have flyers, right?
Yes, we do. Yes.
And then this one, let's see. First ACPR training, this as soon as I was reading, like I was gonna come up here, I was registering myself. I'm like, I don't wanna miss the spot. This is with the little one, I only have certain tools that I could go ahead, but this I've always found it very interesting, very surprising that at any point, we need this type of tool and skill to, as a parent myself too. So location here, the Children's Bureau, information, March 29th, 4 p.m. RSVP with Sandra. There's all the information.
I think it's free.
It's, I believe.
Yes. Yes, it's free.
Yes, so it's here, the location here. So get in some spots in there, guys. I think it's good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Say thank you. Say thank you.
Our little banner right here. All right, so these flyers that we showed will be sent to you, emailed by Stephanie. You'll get all of this information, so you'll be able to refer back to it. Please share with your community. This is what Best Start is doing, and we are making some connections. And when we have, if you have an event, if you want the community to know and support and be a part of the Best Start community, send it to us. Let us know. Our information, you can contact us. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. You can scan the QR code, that's our link tree. These are ways to get in touch with us. Also, you can just email us. at allforkids.org, Carla Garson, Darrell Arnwine, Stephanie Reyes, allforkids.org. So you can get in touch with us. Anytime you have an event, send us your flyers. We want to support, but we want to make sure that our community is recognizing that Best Start is here to make a difference. We are putting in place to make some systems change. Okay? Yes, ma'am?
Who would, whose contact would I, like, want to use to invite you guys to our advisory
Committees?
Yeah.
Omar or Stephanie, here are cards right here.
Well, I have that.
a general, Best Start,
You got a general Best Start.
right here in the back, Best Start, all for kids, so you can email or that email as well. The number would be Omar, so if you want to call.
And Omar,
That would be where I would have, request, like, if someone wants to come and join and share whatever is going on that you have to share.
Because
Yeah,
Omar's our
outreach.
community,
Omar, stand up.
he's our community organizer.
And he has cards or whatever, we have our AV outreach committee, and that's who you would contact. But any of us would be willing to come, Carla, myself, Omar, and we'll make sure you get cards. Okay? All right. That concludes our meeting. Thank you for coming, but before you leave, we have provided lunch for you, so please get a plate. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Make sure you get the flyers over here, but everything else will be provided for you. We'll email that to you. All right, everyone, have a great day.